He was over here. He was the older guy I had over here. And then I had Ian over here. But anyways, when I had him step up for, like, we're definitely doing an assisted step up, he was also doing push-ups, right? So I had the J-hook out here. If the J-hook's not out, I would just have him use the rack. But I'm always next to him because I know that he's uncomfortable in the sense of his balance, and it makes me more comfortable too, right? I don't want him to lose his balance and then something happen. So I'm always making sure, depending on that client, like if we know ahead of time, like let's say, Brett, you're taking Bob, you're taking Ian, or you're taking both of them, right? And you say they have a step up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just tell you ahead of time because I've seen them more than you've seen them. When they're doing a step up, just be closer nearby, right? I'm always gonna tell them, all right, Bob, I want you to hold on to this rack. Once we get comfortable, then we can try to let go of it, but you're always near the rack in case you need it or want it, right? Okay, so rack or human-assisted step-ups, they can use you or the rack. If you're teaching more than one person, though, like if you're coaching 2 people at one time, get them to use the rack just in case you have. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do a step up. You're gonna hold on to this rack the whole time, okay? I want you to think, we're gonna get a lean in, knee over that toe. My chest is gonna lean slightly in as well, right? So knee over that toe. I'm pressing off that foot on the box. We're gonna drive up, squeeze that butt. We're gonna control right back down. Okay, so again, lean in, drive up, squeezing that butt. Okay, so I like to pick a few words to repeat that I want them to emphasize on, right? Saying too much does get a little bit overwhelming. Once they get comfortable with the 12-inch, and they may not even be ready for 12-inch, so maybe we wanna do the Valor box, which is the smaller, like black boxes we have there. But we'll emphasize like which height. But your job would be then, okay, how did their first set feel? Do they look comfortable? They get it down on the 12-inch. Then now we're gonna progress them to 14, right? Once they get to 16 and without assistance, that's when we can start adding some load, right? So always start smaller. And now a lot of times you'll see, because I saw this with Bob yesterday, so he was doing his step up, right? So I want you to watch me. I'm just gonna do what Bob was doing. I want you to tell me, what am I doing wrong? Let me see if I gotta think about how to do this wrong.
You're not leaning forward, your core is probably not engaged.
Not leaning forward. What's like the biggest thing too that yeah, he put a lot of weight on his heel. Yeah. So what I said to him, I was like, Bob, what if you didn't have that rack? Or like the railing to step up to, right? Stepping up, that's an everyday activity that everyone does. He said, oh, I'll fall over. I was like, that's right. I want you to lean into it, use your whole foot, right? Just me saying that and making that adjustment of, okay, let's lean into it. Think about your whole foot, think about your toes, your heel. That really helped him understand that if he didn't have this, he would fall over, right? So that was a huge improvement there.
What are you doing with the back leg on this one?
Say that again?
What are you doing with like the back leg on this? Because I know the emphasis is really on that.
It's really on the front. That's actually a great question. So you want to make sure that they're not pressing off the back leg, right? A lot of times you'll see that. And you can get them to step farther away, right? And then now I'm stiff through this leg, and then I can get that lean in. So now I'm really not pressing off. Now it depends. We can do, let's see if we have it on here.
So really you just kind of let it like.
It's just kind of going along with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, it's not on here, but I could do a knee drive with it.
That's what I was kind of curious about.
Yeah, I could do a knee drive. I mean, that's definitely gonna be a higher progression. So I honestly, what I say is, I want you just to bring your foot up to the box.
For now, it's kind of just hanging on.
Yeah, it's just hanging on. It's there as like a balance. In case I do lose my balance, I'm gonna just tap it there, but I'm controlling it down. You just wanna make sure they're not pressing off that back of the leg, that back leg. Let me grab the Valor box. So Valor box, right, obviously shorter. So definitely wanna start shorter, and then we can always progress higher and higher. Step downs we do a lot. We do, yeah, definitely do step downs a lot. We'll emphasize, let's see if it's on here, the tempo 2. So like eccentric weight on step downs, but let's just go over just the Valor, right? So we have a lot of clients, especially older clients, that get knee replacements. We've had 2 recently. One of our clients just had a knee replacement, so she'll be back and she's gonna definitely be doing this one. So what we're gonna do, I like to have them face the rack to start, especially if they're older and they've never done this before. What that also does is it allows them to use the hands to make sure their hips are really level. One thing I always see is as soon as I go into a step up or a step down or even a pistol, right, their hips, they're doing this of some sort. So they're actually using their hip joint, their glute. Yes, I want to use the butt, but they're not using it in the way that I want them to. So I've always found that if I need to make the adjustment of getting them to be a little bit more level, face them into the rack, let them use both hands. Obviously when you go step ups, you can't do that, right? Because the rack will be in the way. But, okay, so let's say I'm gonna go right into just a step down, okay? I'm gonna have you, Brett, I'm gonna have you hold your hands here, okay? We're gonna find our balance on one leg. I'm gonna tuck my pelvis just slightly, and then from here, we're gonna just slowly stick the butt back, knee's gonna go over that toe. I'm gonna tap my left foot, and then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna squeeze my butt, right? So I wanna make sure my hip, my knee, my ankle is tracking in that one straight line the whole time. So I definitely just did an assisted step down at a very low depth, right? If someone is very comfortable, right, or not very, but more comfortable, I can then take it no assistance, right? And we're gonna work a lot of stability. So now I'm taking away that assistance. I'm still getting a step down, right? But now we're getting a little bit more of that stability motion the whole time, okay? I'm still working my front thigh. I'm still getting that stability through my knee, my ankle, my hip, and I am getting my butt at the top there. So I kind of jumped around from the assisted step down to the Valor step downs. They're very, very similar. Just one, I'm using assistance with it. The other, I'm not, I'm just using something lower. Let's go to lateral step down really fast. So I just did a posterior step down, right? Which would be like our traditional step down. Lateral step down, just like it sounds, right? Now I'm gonna go lateral. The cool thing about, so I'm gonna do it on the Valor, but obviously the higher I go in the box, right, the harder I'm gonna make it. So I'm gonna go pretty low here. I'm gonna find, I like to find like that middle part of that ground, okay? I'm gonna also think hip, knee, ankle in one straight line. So Kyria, when we do this one, right, I want you to have that entire foot planted on that box. We're gonna start by sitting our hips back. As my hips sit back, my knee's gonna go over my toe, and I'm gonna start by tapping my right toe to that ground. So hips go back, tap the right toe, drive up, squeeze that butt, right? So if that was easy, I can then go into, I'm gonna progress by tapping my heel, right? So hips go back, tap the heel, come right up, right? So let's say Kyria she was solid on that, right? Everything looked good. She wasn't getting, again with the hips, biggest thing, this. I'm getting all into that hip. I'm using that butt. I don't even feel my quad working. That's a huge, huge thing that people do, right? They do this. Like that hurts just me doing that twice. Yeah, so lateral, the farther their foot goes out, right, the harder we're gonna make that. Start with the toe, then you'll progress to the heel tap. We actually have this a lot. You may see some people doing this today in semi-4, maybe not though. The step downs, the lateral step downs, a lot of them are on the 12-inch box. And I think we have them going, eccentric step down. Or eccentric lateral step down. So same thing, right? I'm just gonna go down slow. So I'm gonna find my balance. I'm gonna start by sticking my hips back, leaning my knee over my toe, start by tapping my toe, and then coming up. So I'm not putting any weight on my left foot. That's actually a big point. You'll see a lot of people wanna cheat by, right? So I'm gonna do this round right now. Hold on. Right? So they're taking all the weight off of that leg. It's like a single leg squat the whole time, right? So I want to tell them, all right, Kyria, I want you to keep most of your weight on this leg. We're gonna like tap your toes slightly. Pretend like there's an egg on that floor. We're gonna tap that egg and then come right back up, right? So telling them there's something on that floor really helps them understand that you don't want a lot of weight on that leg. I feel like I'm jumping around. Unassisted step up, right? So just like we talked about with the assisted, once they get comfortable with that height, with the balance of it, it's a lot of balance with people, then we can start to progress that, that height. So first, if someone's comfortable after holding on, I'm gonna then take the box away. I'm still gonna be near them. If you can see on their face, like, ooh, like Brett doesn't look comfortable, right? I'm gonna be like, all right, Brett, I'm here, right? But I don't want you to use me, but I'm here if you need me, okay? So now we're gonna keep that step up. You're gonna still keep that lean in, but now your hands are gonna be down by your sides as if you're gonna hold some weight, still getting that lean in, and then driving up, squeezing that butt. Yeah, so once I feel like they are comfortable with stepping up unassisted from 12, 14 to 16, then I'm gonna add some weight. Another example of this is maybe one side, they feel, so I trained my mom yesterday after work and I did step ups with her. Her right leg, definitely could have added weight for her, right? She was fine. I had her on I progressed her the last set to the 16-inch box. But her right leg, I could have given her weight, not her left leg. She had a little bit of left knee pain, right? And like crunchiness, and she was compensating, right? So she was compensating because of that crunchiness, even though it didn't hurt when she did it right. So what I just made sure is too, her knee was tracking. So her knee kept going in like that, right? So of course it's gonna hurt. So I just had her really exaggerate knee over that middle toe as she went up. And I kept her there because it was still working on the right leg, but I wasn't progressing her to weight because she wasn't getting that same work on both sides, right? So even though she could have done it on her right side. But once I do go weighted step up, so dumbbell, kettlebell, weighted step up, I could do different ways, right? I would probably just keep it dumbbell in each hand, right? This is gonna be a little bit easier than if I go up high with a medicine ball, right? With a kettlebell. But I'm gonna start dumbbell in each hand, right? Getting that lean in, drive up, squeezing that butt. Now, you wanna make sure that they're not here with the weight. I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone do that, but still not here, right? Make sure they're emphasizing those lats, getting that lean in, driving up, squeezing that butt. Not getting a swing with those weights to kind of create that momentum. You guys ever do step-ups? Yeah? What do you typically use as far as, like, do you do weighted step-ups? What do you use? What do you like to use?
I like to use weights.
Weights, just like dumbbell in each hand. Have you ever tried like a counter-loaded or same side loaded? So it's just gonna create a little bit more of a challenge. I don't think it's on there. Yeah, variant tools, hand positions for the step up, right? So same side is SS, counter loaded, med ball, kettlebell, front racked. Gives them a different variety, right? But also makes it a little bit more challenging as far as that instability or stability goes. Right, I can do same side loaded, right? I find this one easier than counter loaded in my personal opinion, right? But that's not always the case. So I say my personal opinion because
It's not for me.
yeah, right, exactly. And you're gonna find that. Like, let's say you're training Kyria and she's like, oh, Brett, I feel really unstable here with this weight on this side. You know, I feel like I'm gonna fall over, right? Maybe you switch it up a little bit. Bless you. Pistol, okay. So we have not gone over pistol squat. Okay, so we did unassisted step up, unassisted step down, right? So start low, always progress higher. We did weighted step up, lateral step down. Okay, so let's go pistol squat. Pistol squat, so obviously always starting higher, right? We're gonna go assisted to a high box. So for a lot of people, if we're trying to get them into that position, probably gonna start them with 18-inch, right? Because that's a good height to start people. But let's say that we're gonna keep it to 16 right now. So I can do this a couple different ways as far as like help goes. Right now we're gonna have them sit fully. I can use 2 PVCs. Sometimes people really like the PVC action of having them down on the ground next to them as that assistance, right? So I'm gonna find my balance on one leg. I'm gonna kick that opposite leg out, thinking about that whole tripod on the ground. Using your poles, you're gonna sit your hips back, sit all the way down on that box. Okay, now from here, I want you to push off your right foot, lean into that working leg as you come up. Okay, so my working leg was that right leg. Sorry. So with the pistol full sit, very similar to like the barbell box barbell squat in the sense of their chest, right? So, because if you see someone do a pistol, again, I cannot do a full pistol, but if I do a pistol, right, I'm keeping my chest over. That's how I'm gonna get that position. So it's the same idea. When I have them sit, I still want them to lean their chest forward the whole time, right? Once I feel like they are, like let's say, okay, 18 felt really good for me. Let's lower it down, right? We'll go 16, we'll go 14, right? If they're feeling really comfortable, maybe then I'm gonna start taking these away. Or if they use the rack, taking that rack away. All right, Taylor, I want you to use less weight or drop 1 PVC, right? Just start to kind of get them more comfortable with less assistance there. Yeah, so then I took away a little bit of weight, or a little bit of assistance. Now they're unassisted. Now we gotta get them into tapping, right? So now we're gonna tap our butt. Again, I really like to use the cue of like an egg on the box, because that's something that people kind of like really resonate with. So we have an egg on the box. Okay, we're gonna find our single leg balance. I'm gonna use my arms as counter load. Okay, so arms are gonna go out with me, chest is gonna lean into that working leg. We're gonna sit our hips back, tap the box, and then drive up, squeeze that butt. So arms counter load, right? You have an egg on that box. You're gonna tap your butt to that egg. Thinking about that tripod, the knee over the toe, the chest over that toe. Once you feel like they've gotten really comfortable at a higher box, you're at that 18-inch or that 16-inch, they're not sitting, right? They're just tapping, they're using nothing to help them. Let's lower it, right? So then let's go lower. I don't know if I can even do 14 inches. Let's try. So now I'm gonna go a little lower, right? Find my balance, and then drive up. Notice my knee. I started to kind of like bring my knee in, so I need to think, okay, pinky toe, right? Really push my pinky toe down. How do you guys feel with this? Good? You guys ever do pistols?
I have, no, not lately.
I haven't either.
I have, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we should definitely probably do more of them, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to like, because I feel like we always do like our favorite exercises all the time. We're like those that we're really good at.
Yep.
So I've been trying to like every month, okay, I'm gonna incorporate one thing I'm like really bad at, or I need to like work on. Okay, so we pistol to high box unassisted, full sit, right? Then we're gonna go unassisted, tapping, still at a high box. Then we'll start to go low box, tapping, right? So you're just progressing with help, high, without help, still high. And then let's tap it and then start to work that depth. So if I'm solid on that low box and I'm tapping, let's get rid of that box, right? So go body weight pistol squat, going without anything, right? So this is where then we can start to get like ass to grass motion. And then I can then go off of a box. Okay, so again, I cannot do this, but I know Roger can. If I'm on the box, right, and then I'm trying to get even lower, like I've never attempted this before in my life, right? So I don't think I've been here for 4.5 years, never done that with anyone. Doesn't mean it won't happen, right? But we definitely have people do body weight pistol squats, but never, I don't think I've ever had anyone do it on the box yet. We have a couple people that could, definitely could. You haven't met them yet. One's Kyle. Paul probably could get there. Paul was over there yesterday afternoon.
The one was laying on the ball? Yeah,
he hurt his back, so he was having a little bit of a lighter day yesterday. Cool, how do you guys feel with pistol squats? Pretty good? Any questions on them?
What are the cues you're telling me?
Good question. So, counter loaded, right? So if I'm going into, so we're gonna get counter loaded with our arms, okay? I want you to think chest over that front foot, or my working foot, excuse me. I'm gonna find my balance. I'm gonna get chest over, lean into that working leg, tap, drive up, squeezing that butt. Knee tracking over that toe, right? Big thing is chest, counterbalance, hips lead back, chest over that working leg. Those are probably the biggest, I feel like, the biggest cues, because you'll see people actually, when they do it, you'll watch their chest and they'll be leaning back into it, so they're not really putting emphasis on their whole foot. That's a big kind of like, not mistake, but cheat I always see. And then like if they're sitting and you don't want them to sit, right? The tapping motion too. Okay, barbell step up. So very, very similar. I guess I should have left this up. So similar with the back squat position, right? When I set them up, so we've actually played around with positioning, right? So I had someone do this in a semi-4 class, which you guys have taken a semi-4 class, you know, like you got to get them in that certain position. I think that having the box this way, which I'm going to see what like Roger and Heather, if they feel the same way, having the box this way and having them step up is actually a little bit better of a setup than if I go this way and then like try to, because then everything's in the way, right? So this is what I found is the better setup. So instead, I'm going to have them this way and facing out. So we're going to go barbell back step up. Barbell step up with the barbell on our back. Same setup, right? I'm going to go outside of these guys. I'm going to load underneath that bar, okay? Finding my core, breaking that bar in half. We're going to stand right up. Now from here, still thinking about, right, my lats are holding that bar, my core is on. I'm going to start with my right foot on the box, okay? I'm going to think about my tripod. We're going to get that knee over that toe. I'm going to lean in, pressing off that right leg, coming up, squeezing that butt, and then just controlling right back down. Hello? Staying on that one side, right, before we switch. Question, when you do your barbell step up, you go that way, right? Like as the best setup. Last time I did it one time, like Rachel W has this in the semi-4, and that was what I found was the best as far as setup. But
yeah, that's fine. Give yourself 5 minutes to go over shadowing.
okay.
So they have like an idea of what they should be like focusing on, because I think it can be a lot when you're first time doing it. You're like, I don't know what to look at.
Feel good with this one? So a little bit smaller of a box, right? 12 inches. And we can go a little higher, 14, and then 16. Getting them comfortable with the height and the lean in, right? And then the load, right? Because that, I want to make sure they're really comfortable, which they should be if they're doing a barbell step up, right? They should be really comfortable with that height before they're even on the barbell. Oh gosh, it scared me. Wow, we got through all of that. Wait, let's go over it really. We got 1 minute.
Yeah, what did you forget?
You know, I'm like, did I forget anything? Okay, so it's percentage of leg, right? Talked about that. That's a huge thing to look at, right? And let's just go over that really fast, right? You can usually see pretty well if I'm pressing off. It's like if my leg is bent and I'm pressing off. Remember, keeping that leg straight and back farther away will help with that, on teaching them on the step up, on not getting load in the back leg or assistance in the back leg. Common mistakes and cheats. I feel like we talked a lot about that with like the hips, right? Tilting, dropping. On step ups, they're leaning back too much, or they're pressing back with that back leg. Any one you don't feel like super comfortable with of those ones we went over? A lot of the same cues for all of those, right? like posture, tripod, knee over that toe. We're squeezing that butt, getting that lockout at the top. Yeah.
Do you ever have them like completely settle their unassisted leg at the top?
Say that again?
Like when you just have them stepping up and then stepping back down. Do you ever have them completely just?
Yeah, like without, oh yeah, for sure. Maybe some people in the semi-4 today doing it. You mean where they're just here and then coming right back down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then,
oh yeah.
like, stepping up and.
So if they're loaded or like they're on load, they're definitely there without using kind of any assistance. What you want to make sure is like when they do get loaded like that, they're not like using momentum with their back leg, because I think they kind of get excited and that's what they start to do. Like use momentum and like not get that full lockout of the front thigh and the butt. Yeah.
So you don't have them locked. So when you're stepping up, you don't have them put the other leg and lock out at the top. Coming back down.
Not necessarily. Yes, like in the way of, okay, I'm gonna lock out this leg, but they're not this leg, yeah. Yeah. That's a good question. Feel good, Brett?
This could be a dumb question. I'll probably overthink it.
No, not at all. No question is a dumb question.
Plus, I need more coffee. So, like, the main difference between step up and step down is you have 2 legs on the box. Step up, you have 1 leg on the box.
No. So step down, I'm starting on the box, right? Still with 1 foot, but I'm starting on the box. Step up, I'm starting on the floor, right? So I have to get from the floor up on the box. I got to get from the box to the floor. No, that's a good question. That's no dumb questions. Let me put these away. That's actually a great way to tell someone, like, let's say you guys are coaching me and everyone will ask all the, like you'll get tons of different types of questions. Let's say I'm like, all right, Brett, you're teaching me the step down. And I'm like, why are we doing a step down? What's the difference of this, right? So you can say, we're starting from the box, right? We're gonna work that eccentric load. So it's like when you're going down the stairs, right? It takes a lot of our eccentric muscles, that's more stability work than when I'm getting that step up and working my concentric muscles, right? So more of that like power aspect of it. That's a good question.